Hello and welcome to Lord Fenton Gaming Plays Neverwinter Nights. I'm your host Lord Fenton. In today's Lord Fenton Gaming Infamous build, we're going to do the buff and break cleric. Now with the buff and break cleric, we're only going to do 2 classes this time. Most of the levels will be cleric and 6 levels fighter. So let's talk about that real quick while we go through the gender at least. First of all, when you buff up on many buffs with the cleric, you're sort of powerful, you can melee. Also there's wisdom, there's some nice spell damage too along with that with some spells. With this setup you could not only buff, you also break as you cast spells or melee foes, so this build will work out both ways on that. Now gender doesn't matter, just pick any. Now race, I say human because you want the extra skill points and levels. That's right, we're going to do that. So that's what we're going to do with that, of course. So let's go next with portrait. Again, portraits doesn't matter, you can use your own custom one by doing a convert portrait line if you want. Now the classes. I'm going to say 34 levels cleric and 6 levels fighter. But we're going to pick cleric first, of course, because that's what our build's all about, is that. We could pick fighter first, but I like to start the class that I'm intending to be. Now, alignment doesn't matter. You could be good, neutral, evil in the lawful section, or neutral good, true neutral, or neutral evil, or you can go on chaotic, like chaotic good, neutral, and evil. It doesn't matter. Just pick any, of course, at this point. Alright, next is our ability. Now, this will be a little bit different than clerics because we already lost 3 points out of 30. Because wisdom, you have to start at 11 wisdom in order to cast a level 1 spell on that. And it goes by 1 point per spell. Like for example, I am doing 17. You can now cast up to level 7 spells with wisdom for a cleric. Now strength, I am only going to do, I think, 16. Constitution 10, intelligence 13 for that extra point, which will be nice for skill set. And let me see here if I could do that. I'm just looking. Yeah, time videos debating. Charisma and Dex is not important, but Charisma, if you're more of a Charisma build cleric, yeah, then you lose some intelligence. Maybe drop a strength or wisdom to cover that Charisma. Now, if you're a paladin on the other hand, or any other Charisma classes, and you have cleric in there that has wisdom too, yeah, you have to balance between the two on that. Constitution, I did 10. Our buff's going to cover most of the hit points. That's the disadvantage of this build, is the low hit points. That's the only bad thing about it. Still, it's a very powerful and deadly build I'm doing. You buff, you melee kill, you buff, and you magic kill. You can take both routes. So that is done for now. Let's go to skill sets. Now this build will be very easy. Concentration is dire. You need that. That is number 1. So this way, every time you concentrate, when you get hit, you can continue casting. And in spellcraft, you want to do is identifying spells and stuff in case you want to counterspell foes and such. Those two are very important for casters, no matter what, in builds, including wizards and clerics and such. Now, persuade. Here's my thing: if you're doing the campaign, all 3, yeah, put points into it. If not, do it in the tumble, which we only get 2 points into that. Now, I did lore so I can identify items on my own. It'll be a lot more easier. And if there's some lore checks, it'll benefit me more too. It's mainly for that. If you do not like lore, set up something else. Now, let's go to the feats next. Now, feats I did was a blind fight. So this is where we're facing invisible foes. We could see where they're at. We could attack them. And we could defeat them very easily. That's the first one you want to do, is that. Next one is extend spell. It will give another set of cleric spells. Will be extend, usually 1 level above it. For example, buffs the level 2 spell. The extended version is a level 3 spell, which will be longer to cast. That's the point of this build, is that. Those two are very important. You need to take those 2, of course. Now, after you're done with that, your domains. Yes, clerics has a set of domains, a set of spells that are already given to you. I'm doing strength because divine strength is very powerful. You cast that, you gain some strength, and then durations of the charisma. You just use items to make that up, of course. and the other one is Stone Skin, will give you 100 damage to absorb before it goes bye-bye. This is the most powerful domain in my mind because it's more attack and defense, which is awesome at this point. Now, the next domain you could do Trickery or Travel. I say I do Trickery so this way I'm a little bit harder to hit. Travel is good too, but Trickery has nice invisibility. It's up to you on the second build. I'll give everybody an option on that. Still, you want to work towards improving invisibility. Once you have that, you cast down yourself. You'll be much more harder to hit. Now, Invisibility Spear is nice because it casts invisibility around the party, which is great too. Now, only thing that blocks invisibility is True Seeing, but still, that's the thing right there. Alright, next up is your clothing, your looks. This is all optional. Yeah, you just pick wherever you want, of course, at this time. Yeah, I think at the time of the video I made a mistake of picking a certain color because I was thinking that was supposed to be the hair. Yeah, I want raven black hair on that. That's way too dark. Still, it's all optional. There we go. Now, this last part's optional. You can name anything what you want. I named mine Tony. Let's see, what age is he? Okay, 57. His last name is Clifton. Yeah, that's a reference from the 80s. And the voice doesn't matter. Hopefully there's the dice action pack for the voices. I can't wait to hear those. So let's go over our build now. Alright, let's look at our skill modifiers. Concentration is all good. It's a point above. Heal's a point, 3 points above. We're not getting that. Lord's point above. Persuade's 3 because of the charisma score. And Spellcraft is a point above, so that's good. And blind fighting and feats are all good. So let's get to the actual levels. So now our cleric has 40 levels set up. Let's start each and every level. We're going to alternate levels for the first 9, fighter, cleric, fighter. So the second level will obviously be fighter. That's what you want. Click on OK. Do not put any skill points into that as a fighter. And pick weapon focus. Now you can either do maces in case you're going to go online with others, or Warhammer if you're going to focus more on single player. Both are good suggestions. So next one is cleric. Now you put your points in the concentration, lore, spellcraft, and persuade. Like I said with persuade before, you could, instead of that, you put in the tumble if you're not going to go do the campaign. Now the next one I'm going to do for the feat is, let me see here, power attack. Yeah, we're going to work towards Great Cleave. Alright, now we're going to go into fighter, which was be level 4. Put yourself into wisdom. We're going to get 20 wisdom to be safe. Do not do anything in skills. Now your feats. At this point we are going to pick cleave. Yes. One more. We have Great Cleave. And that's for the crits. And max out your concentration again. You know the drill. These are only 4 skills we're going to do. Unless you're not doing a campaign, then you put your persuade into a tumble. So that's what we're going to do. Now we're going to go back to fighter. Do not put any skill points in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pick Great Cleave. Great Cleave again, after you cleave one foe, it goes to the next foe. And it's very powerful when we're doing that for overwhelming crits, of course. Now we're going to go into cleric number 4. Now pump those skill points, max them out. After you do that, if I remember right, let's see what else is on the list besides doing that. And yep, nothing else. Now we're in the final regular level stage of fighter. Again, you pick wisdom. Now you can cast all spells. We're going to do an easy 20 to be more even. And now we're going to do is weapon specialization. That's why we have 4 levels in fighter. We have that in maces or Warhammer if you go in that route. So either or is fine. Alright, next one is cleric. It's going to be from here on out is cleric. Now max out your 4 usual suspects: concentration, lore, persuade if you're doing campaigns, and spellcraft. Now we have another feat. And this one, let me see what I'm going to pick this time. I'm looking down the list, folks. I'm trying to remember what I did. And toughness, we're going to get more hit points to cover for some of our weakness, of course. Again, pick your cleric. You're at level 10 now, so that is good. Max out usual suspects unless you're not playing a campaign, then instead of persuade, put points in the tumble. And now we're going to be at level 11 cleric. We're getting closer to the another stat point. Alright, same thing as before. You know the drill and the skills. There we go. Now we're going to be at level 12 cleric. This is the last time you're going to put points at this screen for wisdom. We're going to dump the rest into strength from here on out. So you now can cast all spells, and in case anybody has added beyond 9, well, you got 20, which is level 10 spells. But still, it's up to you on that. And now we're going to look at the next thing up. We're going to do still spells, and that is still spells does is the following. This type of spell cast can be used without components. Very useful for offensive spells. We're going to do it with. We'll do that. Alright, so now we're at 13, we're going to do Cleric. At this point, yeah, just keep on doing what you're doing with that, except for Fire, don't put any points in. We'll still go towards Cleric. This is an easy build for that. That's the great news. No special feats or anything like that, and there we go. And let's see here, our next level is going to be 15. We're one away. Put your points in the usual suspects. Now this one, let me see what I did at the time of this video. I was thinking of knockdown, then you're not going to knock down much if you're going to take down things more. And I'm just looking. And let's see here. Do maximize spell penetration. Maximize spells more for wizards, to be honest with you. Alright, let's see what else we could find here and some damage we could do. Yeah, I'm just showing everybody this real quick on that. Okay. Thug. Yeah. I'm not going to be a thug. Spell penetration. That's good for clerics too. I just went with that only eventually, not the regular one. We'll do that so our spells will penetrate more and our foes will resist less. And with a high wisdom score, it'll be insult to injury on the spell department. It will be devastating as a cleric for the caster end. Now we're at level 16. Start putting your points into strength. Yes, you're going to start building your melee component of the cleric. We already built a good chunk of the spell component, and that's the good news right there. So now we're at level 17 coming up. So that means one thing, we're getting close to the epic levels. That's when the real magic begins. Now at this point you're kind of almost completing the Neverwinter Nights 1 campaign. Or the Shadows of Untitled, which is that. Now we're at Cleric 18, we're building towards. Max out the usual suspects and skills. And now this one we're going to do is, I think, improve critical. I'm trying to look for it. Let me see here. I'm still deciding. Yeah, you pick maces or you pick Warhammer. Depends on which one you did of the focus, weapon focus. So that is all good. That means your crit will be 19 through 20 with a mace. More if you are Warhammer. Again, I picked mace in case I decided to go online with this cleric and someone's more damaging with that Warhammer. You should have that and over us. But it's up to you on that. And now we're at level 19, so we're getting one step away from level 20. Now we're going to work towards 20. That's what we're on, is level 20 now, cleric. Max out your strength. Yep. 1 point strength. Do your usual suspect. Concentration, lore, persuade, spellcraft. If not persuade, tumble then. Now we're at 21. We're going to jump to a fighter. He's not going to get any feats this level because of level 5. My main goal is trying to get that, what do you call it, weapon specialization, epic weapon specialization. That's what it's called, yes. Try and get that. And let's see here. We're going to do epic weapon focus, mace. Yeah, we're going to hit that. Hit OK. Another level for cleric. Let's see what else we could get that. Usual suspects. And as I said, anytime you do a fire level, you got to put all those points into there you stored, which is a good idea. Alright, that's good. We're going to pick fighter. Alright, let's see this. Alright, yeah. My advice, yeah, don't put any points in there. At the time of the video, I was like saying, oh, I was supposed to put points in there. I said, no, oh yeah, not the cleric level. Yeah, fighter, just don't put nothing in there. Now this one's last time for a fighter. It's weapon specialization maces. You want this. You need this. Because you get more damage with your mace or even warhammer. Now from here on out will be all cleric levels. And with this build at the time, you're in the Hordes of the Underdark. You're starting to kick butt with that. Or some epic level module. You're starting to kick butt with that. Max out your spellcraft, your skill points. And now let's see what is next on the list. I am going to go down for you all. I'm looking at everything. Let's see here. Epic Prowess. Now that gives you a bonus attack to all attacks. And with this cleric, he has 4 attacks. He's a tough dude now. Yeah, we're going to do the usual suspects. Our skill points for the next level. Which we're, at this point, we're very good. Yep. Now we're going to go get to level 26. At this point, you're closing in on the Hordes of the Underdark campaign. If you're doing that, level 27, 28 is the ending for that. Alright, we'll pick Cleric. You know what to do in your skills. We're at level 27. You're at the end of this campaign. If you didn't squeeze enough experience points. And we're going to pick down here. We are Epic Clerics now since we're at level 20. Plus 2 in it, more skill points. Bonus feats every 3 levels from here on out if you pick Cleric. Which is pretty good. Yes, that is right. We're getting all the nifty bonuses. So let's go down the list on what we're going to get. I'm just looking real quick. And we're going to do great. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going to do great strength. We're going to add more strength to us to work towards that. Alright, so next up is Cleric. And we're going to pick strength this time and dump the points in the usual suspects. And that'll be it for level 28. And you're probably beaten Hordes of the Underdark by then. Now next we're going to do is Cleric. We're beyond Hordes of the Underdark. If Beamdog does another DLC / expansion, well, this will be it. Now we're in the Cleric tree. We're going to pick Armor Skin to boost our natural armor by 2, which is pretty good now. Again, you do Cleric and the usual suspects. And let's see what else we're going to do afterwards, unless it's a no feat level. Let's see here. And let's see. Yep, it's another feat. We're going to go down the list and see what we could get this time. I'm checking for overwhelming crits. Let's see if we could get that. Prove knockdown resist. Nope. We're going to need a little bit more strength, folks. Great strength 2. That's what we're going to pick. We're 1 strength away from 23. Again, you pick your Cleric. You know the deal. If not, Persuade, Tumble. That's a reminder. It's another skill level, no feats. Now we're at 32. We're going to do strength. And let's see here. Concentration. You do all that jazz. Let's see what else we could get afterwards. Yeah, we're stuck in the Cleric pool. I would pick Wisdom. So we'll get more we call bonuses with some wisdom spells. Now we're at 33. You pick the skill points. Now, since we have 23 strength, let's see if that, yeah, overwhelming crit, you pick mace or warhammer, depends you are. Now you do more crits, and our multiplier should be good. Depends on which one it is. We're 2x with that, 3 to 4x with maces. So now we're in a good time roll. Now we're at level 34. That's right, we're almost 6 levels away from the game's cap. That was a quick one. Now we're going to get to level 35. Right there. Concentration. There we go. Persuade. I think this is another... nope. We have to pick Wisdom. No choice. Wish it was Strength, but oh well. Clerics excel in Wisdom. Overall, Strength, of course. You pick in level 36. Yes, we're 4 levels away now from the cap. And we're going to go down the list, and at the time of the video, I think I went for, let me see here, I'm looking, and yep, Greater Strength 3. Now we're in the 37 in the Devastating Crit Zone. So that means we're going to be able to do some serious damage from here on out if we get to that. And now we're going to be at 38. We're going to hit Cleric. You max out your 4 skills, unless not Persuade, then you do Tumble. And we have to do Wisdom, no choice there. Now we're going to be at 39. Concentration, we're almost to the level 40, the cap level. And you know the drill on that. Now we're going to pick is devastating crit with a mace. So anybody gets crit who's not immune immediately dies. And we're buffed up, we'll be all good, of course. Now after that we are at level 40, which is 34 Cleric. Pick that one last time. Pump up your strength score. You could have picked Weapon Master, but we didn't have all those feats. Still, we're going to pick everything else out. When we have 1 point left, I do not want to waste. We'll do that. And now we're all set. Now with the setup we have, here's the following. Now we have 38, 33, 28, 23 for your attack bonus. We're going to switch that out right now, which is 45, 40, 35, 30 with a level 7 plus 7 mace, I should say. And 30 for AC. AC is not much, but when we buff it up, things will get good. So we got all that set up. So let's get to the spells next. Now we're going to get to the most aspect of the build is your spells. Now your can-ups we don't give a crap about, which is alright. Now let's look at the level 1 spells real quick and see what's up with that and what they're all about. Now Divine Favor give you +1 bonus attack for every 3 levels, +5. That's very good for now when you start out. Next one up is Shield of Faith. Target gains deflection bonus +5 max. Pretty good, I think, so far. Alright, next up in the level 1 pool is Bless. All allies in the area gain +1 to attack rolls along plus will saves against fear. Great ability, great. Next is Protection from alignment, and it gives you +2 AC on alignment. Good, evil, whatever. Pretty good, I say, pretty good. Now you're going to start a little bit weak with these buffs, but they're the best ones I picked. Now Endure Elemental, you absorb 20 damage from any single elemental type until that's gone. That is great too. And let's get to level 2 on that. Now at level 2, Spellcast. Bull's Strength is Strength modifier, and Owl's Wisdom is Wisdom. So those are great to cast. You need those. That's dire. Now Egg gives you 1 hit point bonus and such. It's a roll of 1d8, which is pretty good for that level. Next is Darkness. This one's great to start out with because it'll be hard for creatures to hit you unless they have ultra vision for darkness, unless you're drowned. So next is Find Traps. This will reveal traps and disarm them in the area. This is great, especially in the campaign where you know the traps are and such. So that's a great spell. Now Invisibility gives you a extra chance to dodge stuff until they have true vision, and that doesn't work no more. Now we're at level 3, and I extended some spells. Dark Fire is good. It gives your non-magical weapons a nice little buff, and it's like fire damage. It's alright until you get greater magic weapon. Magical Vestment's not bad. It gives you a shielded armor per 3 casted levels. That's pretty good. Alright, next up is Negative Energy Protection. It protects you from being level drain and ability damage. This is great too, especially great against certain creatures like vampires and such. Protection from elementals give you 40 absorption point damage now instead of 20. That's an upgrade from the last one. Invisibility Spear, it's like invisibility, but it's like party wide. Pretty good in my mind. So that's about it for level 3 spells. Now we're going to get to level 4. And the next one is Greater Magic Weapon. Now this one gives you +1 enchantment per 3 levels, maximum of 5. So that's pretty good if you have that. And the next one is Death Ward. Protects you all against death spells, spell-like abilities and effects. That's great buff for you. Freedom movement, protection against paralysis, slow, and entanglement spells. Great so far in my mind. Alright, let's see what's up next. Hammer of the Gods. 1d8 damage for every 2 levels, and then maximum of 5d8. They have to make will saves or take half damage. This is a pretty good spell to have for a level 4 cleric spell level if they get to that point. That's pretty good. And last but not least, I did the other ones instead. So let's do the next ones. Alright, next up is True Seeing. That means you'll see invisible opponents. You get to him like normal. Great to have. And let's see what is next. And let's read what this is next. Battle Tide, I think it is. Yep. There's right here. Battle Tide, you steal energy from enemies, they suffer penalties, you get bonuses. Pretty good, I think, right there. Now, Flame Strike strikes in an area, small area. It inflicts 1d6 damage. It maxes out to 15d6. Half the damage is divine, and the other is fire. So this is a good spell to have, though. It's your first offensive one you should use. So next one is Stone Skin. You absorb 100 hit points worth of damage before it collapses. Great spell, and it's a strength domain. Now, improve invisibility. It makes you more invisible, and the only way you get spotted is, of course, true sight, but still that's great though to have overall. And let's see what's next. Creator Sanctuary. This is your oh crap spell. You become each roll. You cannot do anything unless you do an action against a hostile foe. You could heal yourself probably, then that's it. Alright, let's talk about Harm next. Harm is a nasty spell. It drops your foes from 1,000,000 hit points to 1d4, then you can kill them with a mace. That is real great, my friend. That is excellent. There's no mass harm, because that would be too OP'd. But this is an OP'd spell against non-undead. Now, if you use it against undead, that's like fully healing them. Let's talk about the opposite. Heal. The living gets healed to full, but the undead is like harm. You cast heal on them. It's like 1d4 hit points left, and that's it. Now let's talk about Blade Barrier. Now, real quick, there'll be a wall of blades around the area. They take damage, and this 1d6 is pretty good to have. Alright, let's talk about what's next up. Words of Faith. And if any enemies in the area gets hit with it, they could get killed instantly unless the save happens. Pretty good spell. Next is Destruction. If they don't save, they die. Other than that, they take 10, 16, 10d6 damage, up to 60. That is pretty good. So let's get to the next level, which is 8. Let's talk about level 8, shall we? Mass Heal. This is the ultimate zombie killer or a massive undead killer. It gives you 1d4 hit points left, and then you just destroy them with it, like say Flame Strike or anything else. That is great. That is great. Firestorm, 1d8 damage, so maximum of 25d6, not 1d8, 1d6. That is pretty good when it develops over time. We have high level Cleric. Very good to have. Last but not least, I think is level 9. Implosion. This will create a vortex destruction that all living things within an area will die, kill them instantly, unless they make their save throw. This is the ultimate kiss your butt goodbye to foe spell. Storm of Vengeance is 3d6 and another 3d6 additionally unless reflex save succeeds. This is a good spell to have too right there too. Now, at the time of the video, I accidentally put that in stand, but you put that in still spell since it's offensive for mass heal. You get to do some mega damage against undead, which is very good. So now let's look at our character, our current stats before we actually buff the living heck out of him. Now we're going to buff and see what's going on. We're going to do extend Divine Favor, extended Strength, Bull Strength, and extended the Owl's Wisdom. Now we extended 31 Strength. That's pretty good. Now we're at the 50 plus area. Yes, 53, 48, 43, 38 in that department. Now we're going to start buffing more. Because you want to do that, you're testing all that out. Extend Divine Power. Boom. You do some more damage now. And we're going to do his Greater Magic Weapon. We got bonus to that. It's good if you have +5, you have +7, you don't need to cast that. Still love casting things. Greater Sanctuary, there's Battle Tide, I'm just casting that for giggles. True Seeing. Now we got 60, 55, 50, and 45 because all these buffs coming up, which is real good. And we're going to cast our Protection, Magical Vestment. Give us some more AC. Probably going to warn us because I'm casting too many of those types. Yep. And let's see here. Protection from Elementals. We're going to do that. Protect ourselves from that. And give ourselves aid to give us a little bit more hit points. And let's see here. Yep, we got a little bit more hit points. 327 out of 291. Some extra hit points before we get back to our regular hit points. That's good. Shield of Faith. 61, 56, 51, 46 on the attack bonus. We got more than Adored Defender and the hide and crit rogue build. So all these buffs are already powerful for him. Now if you had a Warhammer, it's even more devastating, but I picked Mace again because you can be going out with others one day with this build, and you want to give like that Weapon Master that if they are Warhammer users. And let's see what else. That's your stats right there. It's pretty good so far. You're going to see it drop down because everything else wore off. But still, once you have all those stats, just go out there and destroy everything in your path. In a nutshell, the buff and break cleric build is very powerful with its buffs. You can either melee or cast like crazy and destroy everything in sight. That's all the time we have for today's video. This is Lord Fenton signing off. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Laters all.